Quarterfinal time here at the Pipe Invitational, part of the Billabong Pipe Masters. We're looking for a couple more wild cards to enter the main draw and take on some of the title front runners in what will be a huge showdown for the world title here. And the winner of the Piahi Challenge, Billy Kemper, will be in the black. And some movement while we're at the break. Evan Valer getting started early, just taking a fall as he slipped out of the barrel of that last ride, and Jamie O'Brien had a brave effort to get through that big pit. Ronnie Blakey joined by Ross Williams. Here's Nathan Florence on screen.
Yeah, so the boys just barely getting clipped. Almost a couple of keeper scores there, but you can see Pipe right now just a little sketchy. That wind, not the perfect trade wind that we'd like, so because the angle is up the face just a bit, you're going to have to be crafty and really kind of be a Houdini to get out of these barrels.
27 minutes remaining in quarterfinal number 3 as we see the replay. Nathan Florence just during that recap.
Wow, and that's nickname Nasty Nate, classic. You know, he loves putting himself in harm's way. You know, one of the best rides of the year at Chopes just this last summer. So he knows how to put himself under the ledge as good as anyone on the planet.
Jamie O'Brien getting a 3.33 for a wave that he didn't get the exit on. But the judges rewarding him for commitment. A really difficult late takeoff in 2015, as would all the competitors, as Evan swings, has that smooth entry and just waits for the wave to do its thing before he tucks into the bowl. Not a lot of cover on this ride so far though. He's going to bring this one through to the inside, kick out and avoid getting in the path of a huge set which is steamrolling through the lineup at the moment.
He left and went, paddled out, and I was like, I'm out there. I called my burger, or got a ride down here and paddled out, and then I slammed the bottom. Oh, nice. I slammed the bottom as hard as I've ever slammed my whole life, and it was right on my tailbone, and I couldn't walk, and da-da-da-da-da. I squeaked through. Yeah.
Well, you're still looking strong. We can't wait to see you in the semis.
Yeah, I meant to say now I'm listening to Dad. That's why I'm on that longer board, if anyone's curious.
Well, it seems like it's a theme with yourself and your sister getting on that longer equipment, and we can't wait to see you perform. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Rosie. Mason Ho, he always looks so sharp on those bigger boards and suffering his worst wipeout ever out here the other day, but you wouldn't know it. A great heat score total, 15.71, and he is into the semis. As we see Evan Valer up once again, composure under the lip, but that wave is going to shut down.
That was pretty crazy. He did the cannonball inside the barrel. But basically, you're trying to penetrate the water so you can get under and let that wave pass by you. The worst case scenario is you're going to start skipping down the face, which we saw a lot of on Maui during that Piahi Challenge. And then you're going to go over the falls. And when you go over the falls, that's when it's just a one-way ticket to the reef. Right here, he's going to say, you know what, this wave is not makeable. Watch him actually leap. He's going to jump off the deck of his board right here. So basically, he did that because he wants to cannonball and penetrate through the surface of the wave so that he can get out of dodge and get out of the way. That is the best way to not hit the reef. No, it's looking good. We talked about the El Nino season. The ocean is really warm. We're going to have a lot of storm activities. That means a lot of big swell.
Well, some movement at the takeoff spot right now. This is Billy Kemper just muscling his way through that wave. It started to pinch. Not a huge barrel, but he doesn't want to get caught out like he did in the last round, chasing a tiny score coming into the final stages. He wants to get moving now as Evan Valer handles a tricky takeoff. Comes out on the open face, sets the rail and winds through a nice cutback. Not quite completing the rebound.
Now, that's a typical North Shore right here. Now look at it. It is buttery smooth out there. It's just cornered a bit more to the east. Look at the surface of this wave right here. That is like almost straight offshore. So a lot of times heats kind of have, the waves in general will have moments of perfectness where it's a half hour of just great conditions and all of a sudden it'll get blustery and weird. So Evan Valer hooked up with the wave right while the wind was just clean as a whistle. You know, he didn't get really deep in the barrel, and that'll keep the score modest. But look how thick and heavy that drop is. Right here, he's going to go over that ledge, almost a secondary ledge. Right there, you saw his board kind of bottom out. But because he's a goofy footer, very easy, Ronnie, for him to get on that toe edge and just pin that bottom turn in the barrel.
Evan, for me, has one of those classic pipe styles as a goofy footer. He kind of reminds me a little bit of that Jerry Lopez, sort of slow off the bottom, just lets the wave do its thing and never really looks like he's rushed. Really times it well, as we see Billy Kemper just on one there, not finding the tube on that occasion.
just part of the elements. And the competitors have to deal with that, adjust. Sometimes they take risky moves too. You have to take waves. You only got a certain amount of time. So you got to make it happen in that time frame. And again, you kind of push the limits a little bit.
Well, Billy Kemper picking off a pretty nice insider there, getting himself a nice tube and actually unleashing a couple of good backhand snaps.
Yeah, that was some of the better maneuvers we've seen today from Billy Kemper. And, you know, I'm curious how Billy's going to kind of handle that win in terms of having a hangover. I mean, if that's the kind of win where you have so much adrenaline over there in Maui, it would take almost a week to kind of just regain some kind of normal existence. So it's actually pretty crazy that he has a jersey on and all of a sudden he has to wrap his head around competing again.
Ever since they started really pushing the envelope at Piahi, they've been making some huge inroads. They're getting some of that financial backing that they deserve.
Yeah. You know, there's probably 5, maybe 10 guys that really separate themselves from the rest of the world in terms of what they can do at Pipeline.
Well, here we go. This is Jamie making a move now. Have a look at the control as he stalls for the barrel and finds the exit. Well, no need to be concerned.
There you go.
He had time, he had priority, and he's picked off one of the better waves of this heat.
Unfortunately, it's not that way. There's some great waves, but you really have to earn it. See, Jamie, this is going to be, I would say, above average score. You know, this is not just your typical kind of backup. It's a medium-sized wave. It's not a big set wave, but he gets nice and slotted. And what makes Jamie such a great surfer at Pipeline is his ability to read waves on the fly. His reflexes in the barrel are amazing. Whenever he needs to speed up, he speeds up. Whenever he needs to slow down, he slows down. If he needs to kind of go up or down, you know, this wave is not perfect. It kind of moves around a lot. And Jamie has that ability to just kind of seamlessly move with the barrel. And not only move with the barrel, Ronnie, but max out the tube time. I never see him come out of the barrel early.
7 minutes to go. Jamie O'Brien, just expert backhand tube riding. A lot of the times we are looking at surfers and talking about their equipment and how crucial it is. Jamie's body is part of his equipment when he's surfing Pipeline. It's not just the surfboard. He needs just a small score to get himself through to the semi-finals. He's swinging on this one. He's going to abort. That wave just wasn't big enough. It didn't have a barrel. And now he's on the inside with just 20 seconds to go. That might be the end of his run as we see Nathan Florence using priority on this one. The wave had an ugly foam ball section. He elected to straighten out.
Yeah, that didn't have any nice opening there. No barrel for Nathan to pull into. Saw Billy get cleaned up. Kind of a rough way to end your heat.
Jamie O'Brien now not aware of what his competitors were able to achieve on their last ride, so he doesn't take any chances. He tries to up the requirement just a little bit, but it's not going to make a difference. He won't replace the 3.33. He will hold on to the #1 position, and finishing up in second spot will be Nathan Florence. Billy Kemper and Evan Valer. Their run ends here in the Pipe Invitational.